we're recording. So, Austin Rourke, your film A Strange Calm. Everyone seeing this just saw the film, probably as part of a block of shorts. And I just want to tell you, great work, superb film.
Thank you.
Um, I actually have a 12-year-old girl in the house, and we watch a horror movie every Friday and Saturday night because that is her jam. And
Nice.
I got to tell you, I made a point of showing her yours because it's such a good one. Um, you just did such a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And go ahead and tell me how you got started with this. Are you a horror guy, or you just took on the challenge of making a compelling? I get you're actually kind of dancing more on the thriller side.
Yeah. I definitely I didn't set out to make a horror film necessarily. I think I think fear is our most unloaded organic emotional state that we have. Like when you're in a state of fear, you're not thinking of anything else besides survival. It's when you're most in touch with, your instincts, your primordial survival instincts and all that kind of stuff. So I find our fear instincts and our the subconscious kind of at a loss for words here, but just your survival instincts that come to the surface when you're in a state of fear. I find fascinating how hardwired they're built into us. We don't know they're there, they're subconscious, but they come up. So I wasn't necessarily looking for a horror films on the set out. I mean, I definitely think that a thriller, crime thriller with elements of horror is my favorite type of film. But I was interested in the idea of, the passage of time, the idea that with Rosie, she's so bent on recreating this nostalgic moment from her past that as a result, she's passing up on moments that she should be creating now. And then kind of combine that idea with just my fascination with serial killers and the psychology behind serial killers, which is a lot. You can't really boil down the psychology of a serial killer into a short, which is why it ended up becoming what it was, which was much more about Rosie's journey and dealing with her past and that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I like horror. I think I'm more commonly stray towards thrillers. I think there are a handful of great horror films, and then the horror market can be oversaturated with nonsense. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the basis of where the tone came from, at least.
And you really got to flex your cinematic muscles. I mean, besides the obvious note is the cinematography, but I want to point out that your sound design is superb. As soon as besides the fact that you use it for just setting the mood and this and that, like those early scenes when she's out in the field, if you had a different type of sound design, we'd think we were watching, a sweethearted coming of age film. But right from the bat, you give us some ominous tones. Whoever your composer was, please give them a huge pat on the back, because that was great.
Yeah, so we worked with Makeup and Vanity Set is the composer. He's incredible. He's a musician based out of Nashville. He's been making music for about 15, 20 years professionally, and has recently gotten into film scores as well as podcast scores. But I found him, actually, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. Obviously, that's how I get a lot of inspiration. But he does the score for podcasts like Zodiac, Atlanta Monster, like a lot of great true crime podcasts. And I was just listening to those podcasts, and I was like, this music is, the score is incredible. So I just found him online, reached out to him, and he was totally down, and he was amazing to work with. I actually haven't met him in person yet. Still, we did everything, via the internet. But yeah, he's incredible. I love working with him. He was kind of just like, I used to be a musician, and so I'm always very influenced by sound and sound design, and I'm kind of obsessive about sound design myself. And so coming across Makeup and Vanity Set was kind of like one of those moments where you meet somebody else who is exactly in line with what you like and what you do. And so the fact that I got to work with him was amazing, and I hope to keep working with him in the future. The sound designers were Melody Gun, based out of Los Angeles. Same thing with those guys. They're incredible. They just like, I really like a strong, heavy, beefy sound. I try not to go over the top with the score or with sound design at times, but um, they were amazing to work with. And just, I mean, if you watch the film in its final form as it is now, before the sound design and after the sound design, it's completely different film. I mean, they really did an amazing job. And so I think there can be a tendency amongst younger up and coming filmmakers to overlook the importance of sound, um, focus solely on visuals. And you can, I think, you know, at a level below, you know, back in the day when I was in like undergrad, you could immediately tell when it's a student film because the sound is bad. And so I always just had an emphasis on sound design. I love sound design. I think it's one of the most crucial elements to telling a story and putting the audience in the world, because you can watch the film on a tiny screen, but if you have good sound, it really, you know, it engulfs you and it brings you into the world. So I think, yeah, I love sound design, and I think Makeup and Vanity Set and Melody Gun did an incredible job.
For sure. And then as a writer and director, I mean, you worked your device of the whistles, um, a brilliant way to work sound into the story itself.
Yeah, I can't, you know, to be honest, I can't actually remember where that came from. I think it was just an idea to have the kids have some kind of connection in this vast space of the countryside, playing some type of game, whether it be like a hide and go seek tag type of with whistles type of game, but also tie that into the element of danger, where the reason they have these whistles is because they act as you know, they act essentially as danger whistles, which is like if they're in danger, then they should be using these to get themselves out of it. So it was a way to connect their childhood innocence with the fact that there's something a little bit darker going on in the world out there.
For sure. And then I mean, as she's escaping and then she hears the whistle,
Mm-hmm.
I just think you did a really amazing job. It's a really well-made film. And you're at AFI, or you were at AFI when you made this?
Yeah, so this was I've graduated now, but this was my final thesis film for AFI.
I have to say, whenever we get submissions and it starts with AFI Conservatory, I try not to be biased, but there's a level of creativity and artistic professionalism, I think, that comes out of there, that just really great work. So, and you're yet another example of it.
Oh yeah, thank you. No, I mean, I loved AFI. I'm not one of those people who believes that film grad schools don't need to exist anymore. Like there's this mentality that you just grab your iPhone, you go out there and you do it yourself, which is true. But the amount of, you know, information and firsthand on-set experience that I experienced in the 2 years at AFI were astounding. I mean, it would have taken me 50 years to learn all that myself in a 2-year period. But yeah, the cinematography department is incredible at AFI. That's why, you know, Joel Schaefer was the DP on our film, and that's why it looks so beautiful. I think they expect a lot out of the cinematography department, and so yeah, no, I loved AFI, and they a lot of the films from my year I think are pretty amazing, and so it was a great experience making it through the AFI system.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. And like I said, the results are great. And I mean, you cover screenwriting here, directing, your attention to sound, your attention to detail. Everything about it is just well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what? Well, I guess I should ask how long you shot, casting, this, that. Any stories you want to share?
5-day shoot, 1-day reshoots. I fully believe in reshoots after this experience because we saved the film in that one day. I mean, we reshot a lot of the crucial scenes to change the story a lot. Excuse me. But yeah, we had a crazy experience in the 5 days leading up to the shoot. 5 days out, we lost our lead actress. And so, you know, we did everything we could to keep her on. We panicked. We offered, the idea was that she was too far away. So we offered a black car service. We offered Uber, whatever. We pick her up. Doesn't matter. She's out. So, scrambling to get another lead actress. Our casting director, Gianna Butler, is incredible. She found Giovanna, who ended up playing Rosie at the last second, which was a blessing in disguise, really, because, Giovanna turned out to be amazing. She was amazing to work with. Both of the kids were, and their parents, which is important when you're working with child actors. 3 days out before the shoot, we lost our lenses. We had these really nice 1960s anamorphic lenses to give it that 1970s feel while still feeling contemporary, and how the barrel distortion that the anamorphic gives you. Some features said that they would pay much more than we could for them, but Joel Schaefer, our DP, worked some magic. He got them back, and so that's what the lenses we ended up shooting on. And then one day before the shoot, the night before we were supposed to go out, we lost our location, which was that barn at the end, which was incredibly difficult to find. I mean, there's barns in Southern California, but they're either brand new or they're, $10,000 an hour, because all the biggest features are shooting at them. So full panic mode. But our producer, Jai Pellerin, worked some magic that involved like a state senator or something. I still don't know what the story is, and I'm not sure that I want to know, but he got it back. And so all that panicking in the 5 days before the shoot led to what we had. I mean, we got everything back, which was a miracle. So it was definitely a stressful situation, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you got everything back, and then nothing about the actress who dropped out. But yeah, your Rosie is superb. I would assume if we were in the theater and there was 50, 60 people raising their hands to make comments, I know someone would say, I expect to see a lot more of her as moving forward, because she just fills that screen. She has the it factor, I would say.
She does, yeah. She's got a great look for screen, but she's also really smart and really open. That's what's great about working with kids, is that they don't have any type of ego that might hold them back from doing some type of performance or another. They're just very open to the direction that you give them. At least in my case, I mean, these kids were amazing. Jacob too. They both were probably the most professional actors that I've ever worked with. They came to set saying things like, what's my motivation in this scene? What is my beat? What is my, that kind of stuff. And I was like, holy shit, who are these kids? They were amazing and didn't have any problems with them all the way throughout, which is rare, because as I'm sure a lot of people know, working with child actors can be very difficult, and working with child actors' parents can be even more difficult. But in this case, both the kids and the parents were incredible, and it ended up being a much easier and more fun experience because of how well we got along and how good they were on screen.
Yeah, that's wonderful, because you had children in peril, and I know you always hear some nightmare stories about dealing with trying to capture that on film, children in peril. So I'm
Right.
very happy that worked out for you, because the script deserved it, and you as a filmmaker. So I'm very glad that you don't have a horror story.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Well, I normally, we're around our 15 minutes. So I normally make sure, just in case there's some people that I didn't ask a question that related to their contribution. Is there anyone who deserves a shout out?
Yeah, I mean, from the principal team, the only two people we didn't talk about were, the three people are Maria Freire. She's Brazilian, so I always have a tough time with her last name, but she did an amazing job editing it together. And we always joke that the hardest part of her job is she has to be stuck in a room with me for 3 months while editing that, because I'm very particular about how the edit should turn out. So she did an amazing job. Same with Vanessa Plaza-Lazzo, who was the production designer. And she really helped bring, because the basis of the idea behind making it a period piece was period pieces are very expensive. So what we can do is set it in the countryside and only show a barn, a car, and some wardrobe. And that's how we made it 70s. And so she made the interior of that barn really come to life. And then speaking of the wardrobe, Alejandra, she designed Rosie's wardrobe herself, and made it herself. And she along with Jacob's wardrobe helped really bring the '70s thing to life. Well, the idea was to keep it subtle. So yeah, my whole principal team, I think we're really incredible, and I was happy to work with them, and I hope to work with them all again in the future.
For sure. And like I said, it's just I think it's a weird compliment for me to throw out because we love to celebrate indie film here. But I mean, your film holds up great against huge budget Hollywood thriller horror type things. I think it's just absolutely a great piece of work.
Great, thank
Uh,
you so much.
and so good to meet you. And I hope this is the start of a lot of great things. I assume you're gonna, yeah. Sadly, COVID came along for your festival circuit,
Yeah, it's too
but
bad.
I expect you to get some good eyes on this, and hopefully, there's going to be something. Something. Hopefully, we'll see more from you.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us, and hopefully we'll have a future for you, a film for you in the future.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Next
Great
time.
work, Austin. That was really, really superb film.
Thank you so much.
All right, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you.